I'm not sure. She isn't sure what they are, but they're there. And I couldn't get in it, so I ain't trying. It may be iPads that are always here. Yeah, you would have, yeah. Yep. Left here and went there. Talked to the manager, Ralph, several times about him, and I keep saying I'm gonna call Colin and ask him how he's doing. It's over a year now, but I haven't done it. I haven't done a lot of things I said I was going
Like this, all the time?
Being retired,
They
you're
make
just
it
too
bigger.
busy.
Okay, so that's how it stays.
Good stop here.
I don't have any control. Nate, is it?
Well,
Colin? He has control.
He should be able.
keep in touch with Mr. Beard,
Advise everybody there.
and
Oh, so he'll
it's
take care of
been
them.
months
Okay.
now
Yes.
that I last talked to him. And I keep saying I gotta call him too. And
Well, this is the.
he's still as
password.
grumpy as ever, but you know what the hell?
Said-
Yeah.
This is the password for your laptop.
As I keep saying,
And he
even when I
said,
teach
click
the
on the browser, so
zoning
bring up
course,
Google Drive,
I
and
talk
then you
about
can
the-
download and you can
yeah, I
find
teach
it
zoning
there.
for PSATs. I've done it for when I was still working there, even now. I just did a couple of courses this spring, but I bring up the beard rule and explain. With him it's 11 o'clock. No, it's 11 o'clock. And that one day where he had told us about it. And we didn't stop at 11, he packed up and walked out. We knew that that was the date. So, hard time. Did you call me back?
Yes.
Sorry, I just saw it right before I left. Come here. Okay, what do we do to get into this thing?
Are you at the password screen?
So
I-
click on anything
Nate's
right
at
there.
home. It's the
Where?
voice of
Down here?
God.
The password's written at the bottom right-hand corner of the computer, the EHTPC.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah.
I'm up.
Well, this one ain't going in.
Folks are untech savvy. Why?
Maybe they know I shouldn't be on a computer. Oh, I like this picture better than mine.
Yeah, that one's
Okay,
working.
that one works. Hey, Nate,
Yeah,
how come my computer isn't working?
what, are you at the login screen right now?
You can't get out of the
Saber,
save screen.
Tap on the space bar
did,
and the, login come up after that.
Nope.
nope. She's like locked.
All right.
That's all right. I don't have to be on it. I've gotten through 45 years without it. I guess I can go another night.
Yeah, the one hiccup for me not being there is I didn't introduce the technology to everybody. Surprise.
We got Mark's
I got mine, Ryan.
Andy's and Kyle's up.
If you want to tinker with it at the unused desk, there's 5 more computers. You can just swap it out.
What happens when you guys get, technologically advanced?
Trying to get to the point where we don't have to print out any more paper.
That's what they've said, but it doesn't work. Okay, this one is. Okay, so the first one on that set mark is the one that one open. Or Nate.
Okay, I'll look at that tomorrow then.
Yeah. You'll see it. I have it turned sideways.
You should be able to, once you open the computer, just open up the web browser and it goes right to Google Drive to access.
It does.
Uh-oh, now we're back
There you
together.
go.
This word.
Sure figures, first time I bring my iPad, you provide one. Thanks.
You're welcome.
EHTC, PC, right?
Capital EHTC.
Yeah. EHTC,
Oh, no, EHT,
oh, PC. That's
PC.
right. HT,
small.
PC's lowercase.
there we go.
So go on the, click on the internet edge there. Stub
Up, down here?
up the top there. Gotta hit it twice.
I did.
There you
Here it
go.
comes.
Now, find the agenda. Should be one of those for one.
Yeah, it's that one there. And we can go right into the cases, which I have stuff marked down anyway. Talk to you about that later. She's gonna make corrections. No, she's gonna get them done before tonight's we're gonna have this mention. And also, she would create
Yes.
so like, put in achievements and forward and because these minutes, I mean,
There are comments from last.
yeah.
And the month before.
Now, I don't know if they won't be in the decision either. So Cheryl, if you're working at home, how often do you have to go someplace like here?
Here, yeah, we're still meeting twice a year. Visit. Of some, these things.
Just the only hearing board, or are you doing?
Just, I did this, yeah, also. I haven't had any class. I don't have my own clients or anything, it's not like that. Fill in for somebody.
But like my training, I don't really need to do it, but
Just be thankful you don't have Manham Township zoning.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I've done Alan does, yeah, I know that there are a lot of positions I have there. So. And I'm not, I'm picky about how I am. I have not asked them
That's what it's supposed to be. I was at a wedding on Saturday and on the dance floor, and one of the good friends of my son, who was also in the wedding along with my son, came up to me and said, "Don't you think you should sit down now?" I said, "At your age, you can't." I said, "Thanks, Zach. I'll kill you later." After I take a rest and get up energy. Okay. We'll wait for you.
Jason, how are you?
I don't know how it happens, but I got a side door to the courts, and so we didn't notice it at all. He's like, you can't be driving with that like that, you need to get it fixed, so we got him a cost. $225 tire. They're all encompassing roadside hazard, blah,
Right.
blah, blah stuff. I couldn't believe it.
That's nice.
They were. They, so.
Hey, yeah,
And-
gonna,
Finally just waited, printed out, and I got to the mileage point for the 3,000-mile oil change, so it just, we went for about 8 months, I'm like, hey,
Never goes.
no, and.
yeah, great.
That's what you have to have. I don't think driving my Highlander. It messes all
I
that.
can tell you're more.
Right.
Well. I call the insurance back, they called the insurance. And then, thank you. No, take, no, just take it. And the mom.
I always said they won't be here.
He goes, "Well, how many miles you put on now?" I said,
Have
Greg.
Greg,
"I'll just say."
thinking Kevin.
But that's an
Is that him?
exaggeration. So my mom-
I'm sorry.
Is that him on the phone? Maybe we can have the old.
He told me he wasn't gonna be able to make it, so I was assuming
There's
that
a reason why this thing is getting, like, it just sits there and she's doing it. He already- It wasn't brought up.
I went from.
Oh, okay,
I revised them.
okay.
I do my car rate basically. Every 85 because the car tells you it's not. Mechanic. S's over in Washington. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they are. Blaine's fantastic. Yeah. I said, should I get this one? Because I used to do it every 10,000. So I got this car and it told me 8, which was more frequent now. She says, he said, I'd worry more that sooner or later the car is going to say, in fact, I'm sitting there all the time. And it's has been different since we talked.
Days and days and days and days go under.
Or Easton to do that training. One night. Yeah. And I had one out in Western
Property,
Mhm.
So
Those are evenings. I said, I'm not trying home late. I used to.
authorizing and screening, they're
Even
the subdivision of
Fine until the computer. It wasn't Easton, it was Allentown, excuse me.
It's dark, tired.
Yeah, but it was, that was wired teaching.
Are you interrupting our
They
conversation?
would, they would normally be.
I tell you what, you give him a title and he goes his head.
You always never done case. I only have one zone case list, there should at least be two.
Yeah, I wanted to look that up.
Yes, it is two. Because
This is the second one?
if you look at their front page of the application, but it's under Article 9, but if you go back to Article 411,
Yeah, but where's, here it is. Okay, subject to the regulation issue, and special exception elsewhere, special not to exceed 6 months. That's the first one. Then such time is extended not more than once for an additional 6
Right,
months.
so this would be the first extension. Or the, we gave them a 6 month, this would be the extension because you go to 411. That's what I called it back about. Section 4.
What is it, 411?
Yeah. that one was big.
This is just the zone.
They can get a 3 month.
Written permission from the land use. It's just a three of us. Compliance with.
I don't think Greg's gonna be here, but
No, Craig is not. He is on vacation. And all state and federal regulations.
he's obviously not committed enough to join on Zoom. But
He did say if we didn't have a quorum,
He would.
yeah. Well, since we're not on the record, stupid.
I am though, right?
That's what I was talking about.
I came off for a meeting with the plan group.
That's what he tells us. That wasn't Zoom, so we could not tell.
Uh-huh.
So,
Whatever. you know, Whatever.
yeah. Yeah, but you weren't on.
I can cut through.
Yeah, but actually both you and Scott
We're on phone.
were just on.
I was actually on my computer.
These are on meetings.
Yeah, how about that? Very cool.
Hey, Nate.
Yes.
Here comes
One thing you
Scott.
might want to check some of these computers for, mine shuts off after 5 minutes of inactivity.
Okay, I thought I had set them all to something like 2 hours, but I might have missed one. I will double check that.
First time I bring my iPad.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, all right, I gotta get it all up again, you know, oh, wait, no, I don't.
Wow, we got laptops.
Yeah. I know. Pretty nice, huh?
Now I feel like we're in the 21st century, John.
I do. Times they are changing. So how did you convince it to display the meeting?
I don't know. Mine was already on, so. They ask Nate is on Zoom.
If you log in, the password's on the bottom right.
Yeah, right
Ah.
there it is.
THT.
PC.
TPC.
And hit that little. It should.
Internet.
Yeah,
That'll connect it.
there it is.
So
Hit that.
put that
Capital.
in there.
Yep.
Okay.
You gotta put your which one isn't there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now you should be able to.
Okay, we're good. What's that? EC. Oh, right. They didn't list the.
So I'm not the only thing. Of course, mine
Right.
didn't work at all.
I got my iPad if you need.
Nah, I had downloaded this stuff anyway. Minutes, what did I do?
Here.
I go. She just
Abstain anyway, because I'm here.
Yeah.
And now one brick laid of a load here.
Go up to the left-hand corner
Yeah.
and hit that double click.
Yeah, now I know where I am.
The agenda. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
And what I do with them. Oh, what's my minutes?
Right there.
Oh.
You put mine right here. Just in case.
Jason, you ready? Beth? Joe? Okay, at this time, I'll call the August meeting of the East Hempfield Township Zoning Hearing Board to order. Members present this evening, Mr. Hanson, Mr. Luce, Mr. Bingham, myself. We also have with us our legal counsel, Jason Hess, our township zoning officer, Beth Graham, and we have a court reporter present. We have scheduled this evening 2 new cases and any other business old business that may come before us. This board will hear each case in an informal manner without strict compliance with rules of procedure used in a court trial. We ask that each applicant and any individuals interested in a particular case to step in front of the table and explain the circumstances involved in their application. Applicants may present their case themselves or through their attorneys or other representatives. My fellow board members and I, as well as the solicitor, may ask the applicant questions from time to time during the applicant's presentation or at its conclusion. All persons having an interest in the application will be given the opportunity to ask questions of the applicant, to offer evidence of their own, and inform the board of their position on the matter. In the interest of a prompt and orderly disposition of each case, we will ask interested people to refrain from speaking until the applicant's presentation has been completed and the board has had an opportunity to question the applicant. At the beginning of each case, people who are interested in the case should decide whether they desire to be parties to it. By being given the status of a party, that person will be entitled to receive notice of the decision in that case and will be entitled to participate in any subsequent appeal or rehearing. Individuals who are not given party status may nevertheless ask questions and present evidence, but will not receive notice of the decision and will not automatically be entitled to participate in any appeal or subsequent rehearing. If you desire to be a party, we will ask you to sign an entry of appearance form at the appropriate time. And although each party will receive a written copy of the decision, the mechanics of typing and signing this decision will take approximately 4 weeks. We ask that each person who asks a question or makes a statement first state his or her name and address for the court reporter. Now, lastly, in the interest of time, I will administer the oath or affirmation to all applicants and to everyone and anyone who anticipates making any statement with respect to any of the hearings this evening. So at this time, would you please all rise? Not me. That's the next step. Under penalties of perjury, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please say I do. Please stay standing, and I will stand now. Salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Beth, the cases this evening have been advertised and posted in accordance with the Sunshine Law and the municipality's planning code. Also, just so everyone knows, not only do we have people in attendance, but we're also have Zoom. So I do not know, beside Nate, is there anyone else on Zoom?
There is one other person. I'm not sure if Nate knows who that is.
I do not know.
Okay,
It's iPhone 717.
so, but somebody's on with their iPhone. Okay. Thank you. Gentlemen, you have presented to you by the secretary minutes from, board minutes from the July 18th, 2022 meeting. There are no additions, deletions, or corrections. I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Move to approve.
Moved by Mr. Bingham. Do I have a second? I'll second it. Any discussion, gentlemen? Seeing none, Mr. Hanson,
In favor.
Mr. Luce,
I will abstain due to absence.
Mr. Bingham,
In favor.
and I will also vote in favor. The board minutes of July 18th, 2022 have been approved by a 3-0-1 vote. Beth, any old business?
No, not at this time.
Okay, would you like to call up the first case, please?
The first case is case 2451, Michelle Zachary, 3090 Harrisburg Pike, seeking a special exception to extend a temporary use permit.
Okay, is Michelle Zachary here or the representative?
I am here.
Anyone in the audience or on Zoom that wants to be a party to this case? Seeing none. Nothing, Beth, from there. Okay. Ms. Zachary, would you like, please state your name, address, and your request?
Do you want my home address or business address that we're here for?
Nobody ever asked me that question in 45 years.
We're
Do-
here in regards to the business, so.
Do both, just
Okay.
play it safe.
My name is Michelle Zachary. My home address is 1321 Banner Drive, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, 17601. Business address is 3090 Harrisburg Pike, Landisville, Pennsylvania, 17538.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Like to present your case?
I'm sorry?
Would you like to present your case?
We are looking to extend our temporary use permit for the coffee camper that we've brought to you guys before.
Okay. Questions, gentlemen? Mr. Hanson?
Zachary, 2 questions for you. This will be your second and last permitted extension. according
Will
to-
be.
What do you plan to do after that?
We're working on that.
Okay. So you're not planning to leave, you're just gonna try something different.
Well, we have 6 months, hopefully, from today.
Right.
Well,
Second-
from September.
Second question. Year and a half ago, you were before this board. We granted you a zoning variance request.
That was for something else.
It was with property.
Okay, just making sure.
6 months ago, I questioned you on it. You said you were underway. I've seen you made some progress, but you still have not met the conditions that were opposed on the original request a year and a half ago.
Can I ask
Give me-
exactly what,
You haven't
I'm
met
sorry.
the parking yet.
What's that?
You haven't finished meeting parking yet.
We were
parking-
asked to have the parking.
You have it asphalted, but there's no lines on it yet. Township code requires lines.
Fair enough. We're waiting on the company to come back and do that. We're at that mercy of them. We
Okay.
have requested it and we are waiting on it. So this is one of those situations where we're dealing with a company that we're working with and we're awaiting them to come do that.
Usually these paving companies will come right back and do it right away.
I understand that. This is a reputable company. They are a good company. I can't answer that one, and unfortunately, that's not my department that I've been working in. I can check on that.
So, given that it's gone a year and a half, give me one good reason why this board should grant you a 6-month extension.
I think that we're not doing we're not trying to not do what you're asking. We really are working actively to do what it is that you need us to do to improve that property, which I think above and beyond has happened since the prior ownership. So we really are truly trying to do what it is that you need us to do to bring it up to standard, up to code. We're working within the parameters of other companies as well. We're trying to do the best that we can to get them come out as well. They came and they paved very quickly as soon as we were on the schedule and made it happen very quickly for us. We're just waiting for them to come paint.
Okay.
We know that's going to happen. And if you like, I can get you that company's name and you can contact them and check with them. But that is a part of the package that they do. Again, I can't answer that question because I don't know why they haven't come yet.
No, I agree. You've done a lot with the property. And I always I'm a big promoter of small businesses, especially when you reuse original buildings instead of tearing down and building new. But again, I just had to ask a question because part of our decision from a year and a half ago still haven't been met, and you've given me an answer, so thank you.
Other questions, gentlemen?
Not a question, but
Mr.
I would
Reed?
agree with the applicant that they have done considerable work to clean up what was pretty bad shape when they got it. They
Thank
ate a
you.
bud business and the broken pottery and all the junk that was lying around that building. It's long since gone. So I wholeheartedly thank
We
you
really
for cleaning
appreciate
it
that.
up.
Thank you.
I drive by it enough times that it's easy to see the change, especially around the sides of the building to the back that you've made, and cleaning up the whole property all the way down beyond the area that you use for the business. So thank you for that.
Thank you. That means a lot to us.
Any other questions, gentlemen? Jace?
Yeah, just a couple things, just I guess housekeeping things in terms of the application. So, the owner of record, according to the deeds, is actually always never done LLC. Okay. And I mean, of the property, okay. And then you also, you listed, under previous zoning hearing, applications, the case number 2423, which was the one, I think, the special exception granting the second business. And there would also be case number,
2447.
2447, which would be the first 6-month permit, correct? Okay. That's all I have.
Beth, any questions to the applicant?
No.
Anyone in the audience or on virtual Zoom have any questions of the applicant? Seeing none. Anything else, gentlemen?
For application.
Well, I'm going to ask her to do that after we're done with questions. Seeing that, then we will conclude testimony in case number 2451. Ms. Zachary, you requesting the board to amend your application to include case number 2447.
Can you clarify that for me, please?
In your application that you submitted to the board, you have case number, has this property been involved in a previous zoning hearing? Yes, you listed case 2423. What you did not list, which Mr. Hess brought to the surface, was case number 2447, which was the previous appearance in front of this board asking for the first 6 months, which was granted.
You would have to change the landowner of record.
All you just, when I asked you if you wanted to amend it to include that case, all you'd have, yes, then we'll go through that process. Yeah, don't worry, I won't try to lead you every way astray.
What about the land?
Okay, also, under general, it's legal name of landowner of record or business, and it's Sands LLC.
So always never done owns the building and the property. This is gonna get confused. Always never done LLC owns the building and the property. Ampersand is the owner of the business. Doing business as always never done. That is our legal.
Okay, it's over my head too. Jason,
That's fine. I think as long as normally we list the owner that's on the deed.
The
But-
owner of the property. So originally, always never done, was under the ownership, the whole business, the property, everything was under the ownership of Amy Guide. A year and a couple months ago, we partnered, and so therefore, we have a separate business of Ampersands. The property is still owned by Always Never Done. The business is Ampersand doing business as Always Never Done. And if you need those documents.
oh, I don't need them. I'm just making sure. What's, okay, Jason, do we leave it at Sands or what?
It does say owner of record or business, so I believe that that it doesn't need to be changed.
Okay with you?
You're part owner of, you don't own,
I do not
Always
own the
Never.
property, but my partner does, and she's a part of Ampersand as well.
okay. I'll bring it up under condition.
Okay. Okay, gentlemen, we have in front of us the request of the applicant to amend their application to include case number 2447, the initial special exception to extend a temporary use for 6 months. Can I have that as a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Luce, second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hanson. Any discussion, gentlemen? Seeing none, Mr. Hanson,
In favor.
Mr. Luce,
In favor.
Mr. Bingham,
In favor.
and I also vote in favor. The application has been amended to reflect that change. Now, administrative notice, we will take into the record case number 2423 and case number 2447. There are no exhibits to add to the record. So the record stands as the application with the amended application form. With that, gentlemen, I will listen to a motion in case number 2451, if there is one at this time.
Mr. Chairman, case number 2451, request of Ampersands LLC for a special exception to 270-9.3A 16B for an extension to their 6-month permit for additional 6 months. Make a motion to grant that request with the following conditions. Number one, are standard zoning board conditions. And number two, since Ms. Zachary does not own the property, within 2 weeks, she needs to provide a letter from the property owner stating that she has permission to be here asking for this special exception, which is something we normally do.
Okay, in case number 2451. Motion by Mr. Hanson at the request of Ampersand LLC to grant an extension of time for a 6-month temporary permit in case not, or in section 270.9.3.A 16B with the following conditions. Normal zoning hearing board conditions placed on all decisions. And 2, that within 2 weeks of tonight, the applicant will supply a letter from the property owners stating that the property owners had granted her permission to request this extension.
Let me add something to that. No, never mind.
Anything else? Do I have a second, gentlemen?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Bingham. Discussion, gentlemen.
Ms. Zachary, I know you don't own the property. But I'm gonna vote for your request. But again, you have 2 weeks to get this letter submitted from the property owner. And if they don't get that letter submitted, that means you don't get your permit. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Just that, Always Never Done LLC gives permission to Ampersam's LLC to request a special exception.
And, make sure that it gets to Beth.
You didn't mention the hours of operation. Would they continue as per the previous?
We took administrative notice of the previous cases, so
And it was in her
anything that's,
testimony.
and anything that's within the testimony, written testimony that was submitted and the previous decisions would still be
Very long.
moved forward since we did not make any changes to those. The only other thing that I would say, and I have no problem with the request and as Mr. Hanson, I'd vote for it. But I would suggest also that when you do find out from your paving contractor, when they may consider thinking of coming out and fulfilling that you notify Beth also, that, as Mr. Hanson said, we understood when you originally made that request, PennDOT was doing work down there, which created a problem for you to comply. You did do the improvements. As a customer, I would be very upset with that company from the standpoint that they haven't fulfilled the obligation of their contract to you. I hope you haven't paid them in full.
No, we're patient. That's the grace.
Okay.
They'll do it.
I know they'll do it. It's just hopefully in our lifetime. Mr. Hanson,
In favor.
Mr. Luce,
In favor?
Mr. Bingham,
In favor.
and I also vote in favor. Your request for the 6-month extension has been granted. Thank you. Beth, next case, please.
Next case is number 2452 Dwight L. Root and David K. Root, 1100 block of Lititz Road, seeking a variance to the screening and buffering requirements.
Okay, is Mr. Root here or their representative?
I'm Tom Aslan, Dean Surveyors. One thing that we do need to update the record for.
Before you get any further with that, first of all, what was your name, Tom?
Tom Madison.
Madison. And the second thing is, before you move forward, is there anyone in the audience and or Zoom that wants to be a party to this case? Who are you? No, you're an applicant, you're already. Again, anyone? No one on Zoom? Okay, sir, I apologize for interrupting you, but.
First of all, housekeeping, this property was sold since we submitted the application. So we're gonna have to update the ownership information on the application. The legal name of the landowner of record is now Root Road LLC. And with me tonight is Reed Myers, who is the owner of that LLC. So the Roots are now no longer part of the application.
Did they buy that whole property?
Yes.
So the nursery is are they still gonna, never mind, I'll let you.
Yeah, we'll just hold off on that. And what was the gentleman's name?
Reed Myers.
Myers.
R-E-I-D. Myers, M-Y-E-R-S.
Okay, we will go through the formalities of amending the application at the end.
All right, well, I'm sure everybody's familiar with the Brooks Tree Nursery property at the intersection of Lititz Road and Wood Road. The applicant, who's Lititz Road LLC, is going to be developing on this property a roughly 4-acre solar field, excuse me.
Sir, could you speak into the mic? They're having trouble hearing you on Zoom.
Yeah, and I should have said it earlier. Please, everyone speak into the mic for several reasons. Maybe,
Gotta go up, just pull it out.
yeah. So everybody can hear in the audience and also, so Beth can make or do the board minutes for us, which are being taped at this time. So please.
The property is 46 acres inside, as I said, Lititz Road LLC, which is also is proposing to develop a roughly 4-acre solar field to be placed in the center of that property with access using an existing driveway coming out Lititz Road. The remainder of the property will be continued to be used as a tree nursery as it's been historically. That is not proposed to change at this time or in the near future. The ordinance does allow for the construction of this on the property subject to a conditional use application, which was made and was approved by the Board of Supervisors at their hearing in June. So that is taken care of as well. We actually have a land development plan pending for this. One of the issues that was raised in that review was the need for a tight seed buffer around the perimeter of the solar field. And I don't know if you can go to sheet 4 in the application. Or in the site plan set that was submitted.
It is there.
That shows what a type C buffer would look like, and it's approximately $40,000 worth of landscape. Our feeling was that because this is set back off the road quite a ways, it's nowhere near any existing dwellings, and it's already surrounded by a tree farm. This felt excessive, and so we wanted to come in and ask for relief to not have to provide the buffer screening that would normally be required if it was closer to homes or closer to the road, or if anything else that it might have an impact on. That's the nature of our request. It's fairly simple, it's straightforward. That's the reason for the request.
Okay. Questions, Mr. Hanson?
Several. The solar panels, how high is the tallest solar panel?
I believe they're 8 feet. 8 feet.
8 to 10?
8 to 10 feet.
Since you spoke, can we please have your name and address for the record, please?
Yeah.
Reed Meyer. Reed Meyer, R-E-I-D, Meyer. 23.
I don't think that mic's working.
Yeah, Beth,
Is that mic on?
try that one. Try the other, like,
I don't know if it's that it's off or the batteries keep dying on it.
that one works.
So I
think the
can hear
red
that
light-
already.
There we go. Whoa,
There you go.
hello. Okay.
I'll make one more comment real quick. I am actually, just to clarify, and I'm glad Mr. Hanson had the question. I'm actually Dave Root's son-in-law. I married his daughter. So we are going to continue on. So she's going to be the 5th generation running it. Yes, it will stay what it is.
Can you, Beth, can you pull this one up?
Nate's,
Nate?
Okay, Nate.
Nate?
Looking for the aerial.
It's the one labeled aerial image.
Second one.
Sheet number
That
2.
one.
There, that's it. Now, can you blow it up? Okay. I noticed when I was reviewing this, there are several properties under the root name. I'm assuming the other two were not bought by Lititz Road LLC. They were? So all of them were, okay,
They're still being kept separate, but they were all purchased together.
okay. I would agree with your assertion that, especially from, 72, Manheim Pike and the houses there on Spruce Street, that any, trees put up would be useless because they're blocked by existing, large deciduous trees. However, if you're looking at, okay. If you're looking at that, the houses there on, Root Road have complete eyesight straight to where your solar panels are. And also the houses, and I'll grant you that the trees along Lititz Road, I don't think you need to add any buffering to them because I think they do a fine job there. But I would, one of the conditions I would make if this board was to grant it is those trees have to stay. And if they, if for whatever reason they get cut down, storm damage, whatever, they would need to be replaced. Okay. That'd be something you'd be agreeable to?
What trees exactly? Because that gets planted and replanted all the time.
Lititz Road, right along Lititz Road there.
Yeah, those aren't there now. Those are all being replanted as is
Okay.
already. So there's a whole, do you see the black line?
Yep.
Towards the top of the screen that's
Mhm.
closest to Lititz Road? That line can stay there. But like, and then those little dots of more trees, they can stay there.
Okay.
But then those larger ones that are sparsely populated,
I'm talking about those right along Lititz Road that you just said could stay there.
What
Where by the
happened
road.
to our?
Not there.
Where's your-
She's getting a pointer right
Yeah,
now.
we're getting a point.
Sorry, thank you.
Thought we had.
I can. Let me bring this up here to you guys and just point.
Just so everybody can see.
Oh, sorry.
Oh. That old trick.
This needs one.
I'm not gonna.
Oh, you're not-
No.
See if I,
We could probably pull a wire for one of these.
Sir.
important on this. Yeah,
Laptops are nice, but it'd be nice to have a pointer.
I think maybe we might get one.
There's a second pointer in the equipment rack, Beth.
There it is.
There it is. I got it.
Here, let me have that. I'll show them. So if you turn around, I'm talking about these trees right here. These here.
Those are all gonna stay, oh, sorry. Those on the left are already there,
What about
but the
these?
ones down front there, some of them are not there anymore because we're gonna replant it with arborvitae.
And would they stay there then, or?
No, it's for sale. We're gonna continue to rotate that through.
One thing we want to clarify here about this is that this aerial is probably at least 4 years old. And this tree nursery is in a continual state of harvest, replant, regrowth, reharvest. And so at any one time, sort of flying it right before we filed the application, there was really no way to give you, we conveyed this, we got this picture in here basically to convey the idea of what it looks like rather than in specific trees as they exist today. There's simply no way to capture that without actually flying it and getting another updated aerial photo. So I apologize that it is out of date. But for example, that blank space there between the solar field and the homes on Root Road is currently full of trees.
That one there.
At the time this was taken, photo was taken, it was brand new. Those that had just been had harvested and were now being prepared for regrowth. So the entire tree nursery is continually regenerating and then being harvested and then being regenerated, then being reharvested and so forth. So again, that's why there may be times when there are gaps, but those are going to be short-lived as trees continue to grow up and then they're harvested and then they continue to grow up again and again.
Let me interject here. You know, how long would it take for trees to regenerate? And I'll ask Mr. Ives, how long would it take to regenerate to be a sort of natural screening that would be there? That would be the first question.
So, yeah, it could range from 2 years to 8 years. It really depends, or it could be 24 months, or it could be 38 months, or 48 months. So like, it could vary depending on what we put in there. Arborvitaes, for example, grow really fast. They can grow 12, 16 inches a year once they pass that first couple years. I'm not the nursery expert. You should talk to my father-in-law, but he's not here. I'm sorry. But like over there, that blank space, like Tom mentioned, that's all grown up already on the right there. So
Right
like
here.
they can't see anything from there.
Okay, but let me ask a question, and I'm not a tree expert either, but right now it looks like trees are growing in
Yep,
lines this way,
yep.
and it just goes down. Same thing over here.
Been that way for 100 years, yeah.
Yeah. What would happen if the trees were planted this way?
So the reason why we actually picked where we picked to put it is there's a whole bunch of rock there. So it's really hard to plant there.
Yeah, where that is. I'm not saying move the solar
So-
field,
No. So I'm just saying like, that's why they go this way.
the trees.
No, yeah, they go horizontal to try to make the planting easier. If we were to try to change it, they're all in like cubes or sections or something, my father-in-law calls it. They root and like they do a section at a time.
I understand, but I'm just saying, and, you know, I might just be full, but growing trees this way so that when you harvest this row is still there. So that you always have a natural barrier instead of like, and using this picture, and I know it's changed.
Yep.
But right now, based on this picture, this section here is bare. This section has trees,
Yep.
this section has trees. So theoretically, if I stood right there on the road, I see the farm. If they were planted this way and this section was taken out,
Yeah.
then this section.
Oh, I
here would
understand
be
exactly what you're saying. It's just that they've never done it that way and the irrigation doesn't work that way. So I don't know what type of expense I'd incur
Okay,
out of drilling a new well and moving irrigation. The other thought is, 1 second, Tom, sorry. The elevation on Root Road is pretty high.
yeah, I know,
Like you couldn't stand on the road and see anything.
I know, but you know,
The fence is gonna be privacy fence, so it will be a green in color and it is 10 foot high by ordinance. So they won't be able to see anything anyways.
okay, then, I know, Mr. Hanson, you had the floor, but
Real
Um,
quick too, I want to clarify, those homes on Root Road, the closest one is over 400 feet away from the solar field.
understand.
Yeah, so it's not like they're close up to it at
I
all
understand,
either.
and there's a home right there, there's a farm across.
That's the Roots home.
Okay.
Yeah, but. Yeah, but they sold the place and now they don't care. It's your problem, not theirs.
They're also, again, close to 400 feet away from the outside. This plan doesn't give a real lot of good context in the sense that the scale is lost. It looks much smaller than it actually is. There's a lot of space around it.
Yeah, I understand that, and I've driven on all the different roads by that over my lifetime being here. My other question, and I'll turn it back to Mr. Hanson, is that by us not giving you relief from the screening requirement, would you have a problem with us stipulating that should the present owners, as the previous owners, sold the property, or present owners decide to change what they want to do with the property, that the required screening of the ordinance would be placed?
That would be acceptable, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Hanson, you had the floor and I took
You have
over.
that back.
No.
What? Just to clarify, what is a type C screening? What's the township? Maybe that's a better question
It's,
for Nate.
there's three levels of buffering. This is the most intense, and it's 3 levels. There's a row of shrubs right along the fence. Then there's a row of deciduous trees that are larger shade trees, and then out in front of those are maybe like what it would be smaller, more ornamental type trees as well. This pattern is taken directly from the ordinance. So it's not like we had to try and interpret language and figure it out. The ordinance actually had pictures that was very helpful, but it also then mandated this approach to doing this.
So Nate, can you go back to the aerial view again? I would concur with you that a type C described here around the perimeter fence is probably excessive and not needed. My thinking is, again, when this picture was taken, if those solar panels were there, and again, it'll be that way according to your testimony when they cut them down again. I'm gonna come, if I own this house, I'm gonna come out of my front door and I'm gonna see a big green fence blocking the solar panels. My idea was to put, that's why I was saying about these trees here, just keeping them because they block enough. To me, that gives plenty of screening. And if you were to do the same thing over here.
As an alternative to what you're proposing, what if a single row of evergreens were planted along the fence, right up against the fence?
Up against
That fence?
Against the fence of the
This
solar
one.
enclosure.
You have a problem with that.
The pointer.
This one and this one. You're talking here and here?
Yeah. I'm happy with the trees back already. We can get that one.
My only concern is Lititz Road and Road Road. I don't care about, it's far enough away
1,200 feet behind it.
Yeah.
back here, and I don't care to the west either. I would even as a condition just say along the north side fence and along the east side fence, I think you'd be fine if you planted a single row of arborvitae.
Yeah.
I think that,
It's already a green privacy fence, correct? Correct. So you wouldn't be able to see past those anyway. It would be.
I would be willing to accept that.
That becomes a much more economical proposition.
And is certainly a compromise we could live with, definitely.
Okay.
So if that's the direction the board would lean, then we would certainly be open to amending our application to propose that as an alternative to the ordinance standard.
Or we could, if you agree to it as a condition, we can add it that way.
Okay, that sounds good.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Any other questions? Jason?
Yeah, I guess just that maybe for Nate is if the township, does the township have any position on this application?
Excuse me. Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay,
Well, Nate, just so it's on the record, the township has already granted the conditional use for the solar field, correct?
Correct, yes, it has.
And the one condition in there was that they had the applicant shall provide landscaping and vegetation. So that's why they're here in front of us, correct?
Those conditions are our stock conditions that we almost all those conditions are in every single conditional use decision, just like your standard conditions.
Okay.
The buffer requirement is not a condition of the conditional use. It came up as a review comment in the land development plan. Just to
Oh.
clarify, that was not a conditional use requirement. I don't believe, to the best of my recollection, unless maybe my memory is faulty.
Your memory might be a little faulty. This
Uh-oh.
is what I got from the township as the decision on the conditional use. And 3 was applicant shall provide landscaping and vegetation for the Lititz Road LLC Alternative Energy Systems Principal Solar Energy System Project consistent with the zoning ordinance subdivision land development ordinance. Final landscaping vegetation in numbers and species types shall be identified as part of the preliminary. So it was,
Okay.
and as
I
Nate said,
apologize.
no, that's fine. They make it just a standard condition so that everyone knows, and we have standard conditions. That's fine. Jason, you had the floor?
Yeah, I believe that's all I had. Thanks.
Okay, Beth, any
Have-
questions?
No.
Anyone in the audience and or on Zoom that have questions for the applicant? Nothing on Zoom? You didn't see? Okay. Seems that there's, Mr. Mattson, there's no more questions. So is there anything else you want to add before we conclude testimony?
Just to clarify, Mr. Myers just pointed out to me, that I guess per regulations of the solar requirements, that row of evergreens would have to be approximately 8 feet off the fence. I would think that wouldn't be a problem as long as there's a row there. That's all that matters to the board. So just to clarify, there would be a gap there, but other than that, we'd still plant the single row of evergreens along the north and the east sides.
Well, one thing, and again, I'm not a nursery person, but, evergreens go pretty wide, so if you don't have it 8 feet off, it's gonna be crushed against the fence.
True.
No, you can't. Yes. Well, if you wanna see a chain link fence that has evergreens going through it, go to the school quad. Whoever planted those should have been shot. Their trunk's only about 3 foot away from the fence.
A little too close, huh?
Yeah.
Just to clarify, Mr. Mattson, as part of the approval, if we, and you agreed to the condition, would just be on the north side or the Lititz Road side, and the east side, the road side.
That's correct. That's my understanding.
Okay, anything else? Okay, at this time then, we will conclude testimony in case number 2452. Excuse me. The applicant has requested an amendment to the application's general information, the legal name of the landowner of record, which is listed as Dwight L. Root and David K. Root, be deleted, and Root Road LLC be placed instead.
Can I just have one quick?
Yeah.
Mr. Meyer, you said you're owner of the Road LLC?
Yeah.
Okay.
So gentlemen, you've heard the request. Do I have a motion to amend the application?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bingham. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Lewis. Any discussion, gentlemen? Seeing none, Mr. Hanson,
In favor.
Mr. Lewis,
In favor.
Mr. Bingham,
In favor.
and I'll also vote in favor. The application has been amended to have the legitimate name as the owner of record. We will take administrative notice of case 1995, conditional use for subdivision of adjacent Dwight Zook residential lot, and 2022 conditional use for solar field. There are no exhibits except for the application itself. So with that, gentlemen, I will listen to a motion in case number 2452, if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, case number 2452, let me try that again. The request of Root Road LLC for property for property owned by Root Road LLC at 1175 Lititz Road, Manheim, PA 17545. The request of the applicant is Lititz Road LLC, correct?
The applicant is Root Road LLC. The
Okay.
developer of the solar field will be Lititz Road
Okay,
LLC.
okay.
Sorry, it's confusing. I apologize.
I'm confused. Anyway, as he stated, grant a motion to grant their variance to section 270-4.13A, 4A, and a variance to section 270-413A, 5A, with the following conditions, our standard conditions. And 2, the applicant will plant arborvitae along the north fence, which would be the Lititz Road side, and the east fence, which would be the Root Road side. And just to add, if for some reason they get damaged, they would have to be replaced. As long as the solar panels are there.
I have a motion for Mr. Hanson in case number 2452. Request of Root Road LLC, the property at 1175 Lititz Road, Manheim, PA 17545, to grant a variance to section 270.4.13A4A and section 274.13A45A. To not require the required screening with the following conditions. Standard conditions this board places on all decisions. And two, that the applicant shall plant arborvitaes on the north. That's Roots Road, no, north is Lititz Road side, and the east on the Root Road side. Such plantings shall be replaced if damaged or removed. Is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion, gentlemen? I have one additional condition that should the applicant or future owner of the 40-acre property decides to operate or change the use of the property as a tree farm, including the solar field, that before said change could take place, the applicant or such other party shall put up a visual live screening as dictated in the ordinance.
Okay.
Yep. Any other discussion, gentlemen?
Trying to decide whether we should say an arborvitae screen in place of the type C buffer, to be
That's
more
fine.
specific.
That's fine.
On two sides,
Yeah,
and
on the,
arborvitae on the other two.
okay with the clarification. With that, gentlemen, anything else? Seeing none, Mr. Hanson,
In favor.
Mr. Luce,
In favor?
Mr. Bingham,
In favor.
and I will vote in favor also. Gentlemen, your case in number 2452 has been granted. Your request, not your case, your request has been granted with the three conditions as stated. Thank you. Beth. The monthly question. What do we have for next month?
As of now, nothing.
Which is
Pulling a
the
Nate.
usual.
Yeah, pulling a Nate.
Could be something on the horizon they have till next Friday.
Next, not
Till
this
next
Friday,
Friday.
next Friday. Okay, that's fine. So next month's meeting is tentatively scheduled. If I can find my calendar. September 19th, correct? Cheryl, you're okay? Jason,
Yes, sir.
everybody here so far?
At this point, yes.
Okay, so this board then tentatively is scheduled for hearings on September 19th, unless we hear otherwise. With that, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, this meeting stands adjourned. Thank you for coming.
What were you guys here for? Anything in particular? Yes. No, yes.
No.
So we entertain the question.
I screwed up. I will admit it. I did ask if there was any questions of the applicant. I did not ask whether there was anyone in the audience that had any comments. I apologize. Wasn't the applicant's fault or anybody else in here but mine. If you'd like to make the statement, still, we'll listen to you. With that, first, we're going back on the record. I hope Cheryl took that comment that I screwed up, just so.
We were off the record. That
Soft.
Oh, good. No.
The screen around that.
Yeah, well, again,
one
I
of 'em
do
works.
apologize. After 45 years, you'd think I'd know how to handle this meeting. Not that I was chairman all those 45.
The other one might be the one that works.
And
May I have to pick up the next one? There you
Yep,
go.
there you go.
just, sir, would you state your name and address, please?
Sure, my name is Bill Terry, Terry, 2611 Marietta Avenue, Lancaster. 17601. Okay. Excuse me. On July 29th, we responded to an email to Mr. Sturgis with a request to direct us to the township ordinance used to determine that a type 2 RV can be parked permanently on a residential driveway. And just wondering if he could direct us to that code now. I see that he is online.
Nate, did you hear Mr. Terry's question?
Yep, give me one moment.
Thank you.
Well, one thing, although I should still stand by my apology to you, at least it wasn't for one of the two cases.
No.
Which makes me feel a little better. I still should have asked.
Subconsciously, you knew that.
Thank you. Yes.
Up on the screen is the requirements for the storage of type 2 vehicles. This is for the permanent storage of type 2 vehicles under C.
And it does say subject to the following requirements. If he's building more than 20 single-family semi-detached dwellings, in no case shall the vehicle occupy more than 300 square feet. Shall not be stored in front of the setback line of the front. Has to be 5 feet from the side yard. So I'm not seeing where it says he can store a type 2 permanently in his driveway. A type 1, yes, if he's got screening.
No, the section B is for type 1, the permanent storage of it. C is storage of type 2 vehicles permanently. A talks about the temporary storage.
Okay. So his giant RV can be parked there permanently, is what you're telling me.
Yes,
What he's saying, it has to be parked 5 feet off the side property line.
10 feet off the front property line, 5 feet
Gotta
off
be
the side,
behind The
yeah.
front
the setback.
of the house,
Yes,
setback of the
correct,
house.
correct. I understand that.
What that's saying.
Okay, well, then a follow-up question I would have then, he also has to provide screening. Is that not correct?
as myself and the township manager said before, that area is not really enforceable as the ordinance is written right now. We're working on rewriting the ordinance for the outdoor storage of recreational vehicles.
Do you have an approximate date for when that would be complete?
It just got recommended approval by the planning commission. I am not sure what day it's going to the board of supervisors yet.
Okay. I'll stand by to hear from you. Thank you.
Hey, Nate,
Yes,
since Mr. Terry has brought this subject to your attention, would you, and I'm speaking on his behalf, and he can get the information to you, self-addressed envelope that you would drop in when the supervisors are considering this?
I do have his email and his phone number.
Okay. Okay. Would appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Unfortunately, Mr. Terry, all we do is interpret the zoning regulations for requests. The supervisors are the ones that implement the.
No, but it is a good question and you're not the only one concerned about that.
Environment references 4.10, that's incorrect. We've gone through this for the last year and a half, and I still have just this huge RV sitting right outside on the parking lot to be built.
In his front yard, basically.
No, this side yard, we built a retaining wall, as Mr. Sturgis called it. We hold back the land from my property as Mr. Sturgis did, which is in him. But that's just the last year and a half.
No, thank you, sir. Now with that,
Hey, Nate, just tell them to ban.
Yes.
Just ban all RVs from residential properties. That'd make it easy.
yeah, that would be. Yeah. With that then, we will stand adjourned.
You wanna touch the pointer too? I said, you wanna play with the pointer too?
Yeah, we're not on the record, but yes, you can.
The gentleman next door, I'm using that term very loosely. Also has an extension, which as soon as he gets back, I mean, they're shoved out for days. And within 2 feet of the line.
Then he's in violation of the 5-foot thing. In my opinion, he would be in violation of that 5-foot.
His house would come to my property when I come around the corner.
It's there. I agree with you. Hopefully, yes, he should still be on. And, as he said, the township is looking into that, so you will, since he has your, contact information, you'll find out when it goes.
I was told there, so poorly written. Can't do it.
To be perfectly honest with you, with this subject or any other ones, when ordinances are passed, sometimes it's not written as clear as it should be, and unintended consequences come up, and then they have to go back and correct it, which the supervisors are doing.
Next meeting.
I can tell you this, our first case tonight. That section going to be very. It says 1 6 months. I don't know, 6 months.
Things to sign coming down.
Take it. I don't sign any of those.
I know. Hey, don't go anywhere. You got signed stuff.
Yeah. Should we call them accessory dwelling units?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, about this same thing? No, about the, well, yeah.
Yeah, campus, oops, there you are.
My parents had the same thing happening in Effort.
Oh, yeah.
Guy
A lot
right
of
beside
people
me,
have
they even built a fence,
So they didn't have to
so
look
they have to look
directly
right at it.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's similar to problem you have with your neighbor with all that crap with stuff that you did to him.
Yeah, build a pool.
Yeah.
Legally.
Yeah.
I've got 3 on my block.
Yeah.
We had the buffering, we had everything in there. I don't understand, they couldn't see it. So decided to rip all their stuff down. I was like, how did you do
He
that?
did. That's what I'm texting now. Him and I've been going back and forth. I said,
There was
that's what
adequate
terrifies me right there.
screening.
Oh, there was complete
Oh,
screening
somebody-
on it.
Then they
coming
brought in the
in
motorhome
on the
and then took
spot,
down the
And
screening.
then I don't.
No,
know
when we built our
how-
pool, because
Oh, you
yeah,
completely
she complained
ordinance
about that. She didn't like what the fact we we're putting a pool in the backyard. I'm like, but
I just
within
get-
our
my
right,
heart
we're
starts
within
going.
our, everything that we
All your
supposed to do, right?
setbacks.
And tell her it's better than putting in the front yard. No, but
Yeah.
yeah, right. There's two right on his block.
Serve them violation after violation,
where,
long they keep
Yeah,
paying
they're
the
right out the
fine.
front yard.
If the district
The ones that are
doesn't know that.
converted full-size buses are the worst.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah,
are
but then the one
ridiculous.
guy pulls in. his
Oh, I
truck
went
and
out the
pulls
other
it
day
back.
looking at.
So the truck is partially behind the
complaints, and I
house, but the
finally
whole campers. Then there's another
just
one.
went around
Because
and
he
looked
has
at
a
the
corner
complaints. I
property.
had like
He
6 of
pulls
them.
a catty corner.
And the one was boat parked in
You
the
know,
guy's front yard. Beautiful
Your home
neighborhood,
is your largest
beautiful boat,
investment.
but it's in his
You
front
want
yard.
things to.
And
be nice.
literally I turned the
Right.
corner,
You
there's
wanna have that
another
First thing, if anybody.
in the front
You
yard.
wanna sell your
Turn the
property,
corner,
you don't
there's an
wanna sit there,
RV in the
people walk up and
driveway.
say,
There's an RV
wait,
in the
wait, wait,
driveway.
wait, yeah,
Check this out.
neighbors here,
Yeah.
you know.
Where I went,
You
they
know,
were-
people just don't think. I'm sorry.
And you're right, if it affects the property value of other homes in the neighborhood adversely, that is a problem.
Yeah, and you know,
Oh.
that's why you have zoning, why you have the requirements. And if the problem is why you have all this is
Yeah,
because a few
that
people
isn't
who
right. It's
are
it's not right.
excessive create a problem
Yeah.
for everybody
Yeah.
else. Where, you know,
Yeah,
I got a real, my eyes were open to the uses of these things when I went to a football game at Penn State. And there was a whole field filled with them.
uh-huh.
oh, yeah.
The people were there not just for the game, they were there for parties over a couple of day period.
Yeah, I mean, they go up there for the whole weekend. Yeah.
And a little beyond on either side. if
Yep.
they can.
So it's. Oh, I mean.
And there are some places that sell them, they're huge,
Yeah.
have hundreds of them on display.
How about-
Because the township is also.
We have gone up
And how
to
about
a couple
that?
games.
Kim Swartz thing. Do we have to keep a
Last one was
copy of that?
I mean, that's part of the.
before the.
So,
Do we
it's-
keep all of it?
Yeah, I mean, the township is
South
always
Chicago,
considered a
Sonora.
party to every zoning hearing board.
Few
case.
things in front.
So,
Do we have?
Yeah.
hard
Oh, yeah,
copies
the
of it?
extension.
Yeah,
It was better on the
Yeah,
way
then
up.
it's
And
big enough,
In
that's right.
between,
Oh,
they
okay.
rolled up the screen.
Yeah,
thing, and there was a big lady.
I think
Cause I asked the guy.
What,
I
a
like
TV
making-
screen? So he doesn't even have to go into the stadium, he just. park-
With an 80-inch
watches the
Yeah.
game. So he's there for the.
yeah, that's ridiculous.
the
And then they
ambiance.
put big awnings down through there too,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's,
Yeah,
I gotcha.
I've seen them.
You know,
I wouldn't want to
okay.
have to buy the gas for one.
No, not now. When you get, 10 to 12 miles a gallon. What'd you do? Break the place?
I don't know, I guess that's.
He knocked down the,
Yeah.
that's the Bob Primmel Memorial Light. It was put there because Bob was afraid he was gonna fall,
Oh,
going
geez.
over
Really?
that, trip over that, when he came in the dark. Yeah. And it made sense when the
Yeah.
carpet looks the
Yeah.
same. Mm,
Hi, gentlemen, ladies.
yeah.
Good night. Nice
Good
meeting
night.
you.
Enjoy the rest of the night.
Oh.
Oh, boom.
Who is Julie Myers? I remember that
They
name, but I
do
don't
not.
know.
But now we have to stop. It was
Build that
questionable, like, I understood why
Oh.
he said to me, because I went back and I looked
Yeah.
and I thought,
He's-
to me, it's
on a
clear
bad
that he
bet.
should have it now. But then when we went back, I went back and watched it with Nate, and I can see where there was question. I still feel like it's black and white, though. Yeah, that's what Nate said, just stop. Oh. Good night. Yeah, we're having trouble with our neighbor. My husband's lived in this house his entire life, so he knows all the boundaries. And we started having trouble with people, their trees dropping into our yard, and we get stuck cleaning them up. The last one, we paid $850 to have a guy clean up a tree, and the neighbor wouldn't help us. So I wrote letters to all the neighbors, I wrote a letter to all the neighbors around us. Now nobody talks to us, and I don't even care. I'm so tired of it.
Neighbor behind, right? He's got some trees along the edge of the property. On mine and next to somebody else. Never cleaned them out. Started to go after the lot. It's not all too much.
Oh my God.
Very hard to do.
Yeah, like
But
bamboo.
whenever branches come down, he doesn't clean anything up, so I just pick them up and throw them on the tree.
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah, the two neighbors, I don't even talk to anymore.
My neighbor has, the tree's been there since the storm, black water.
That means, so the board signed this is the decision from last month hearing. So you'll complete this and then send one out to the applicant. You know, as soon as possible, hopefully tomorrow, period. Send it out to the applicant and then you was served upon bars, you'll put tomorrow's date for that. You'll put today's date up here, because that's the date that it was signed. You'll put tomorrow's date, because that's the day it's going out in the mail, in this.
Okay.
And then sign, and then one goes to the applicant, one can stay with the township records, and we can, return the third one to me next month, or whatever. Sure, you can do that. Yeah. Have a pen here. Yeah. You put the 16th for the, that's what you're saying. All right, thank you. Here's the other two.